Welcome back to Guru Beauty. I am Jodie and I'm going to share with you today a bunch of new products that are out now on the market. I have mostly makeup, some skincare. I've been to Mecca Maxima, I've been to Maya, Priceline, like the drugstore. I'm going to start with Chanel. Chanel have come out with a new formulation of the Illusion d'Ombre. They came out a few years ago. They were quite long-lasting, mostly sparkly shades of sort of cream eyeshadow. They were sort of in a very moussey texture. They applied more like a cream eyeshadow, dried down like a powder and lasted for quite a long time. They've reformulated them and they now call them the Ombre Premiere. So Chanel will be replacing the Illusion d'Ombres with the Ombre Premiere as part of their permanent line. I recently picked up 4 shades. I think they've released about 8. I quite like them, although I don't see a huge difference between these and actually the Illusion d'Ombres. I picked up 4 shades, the Pourpre Profond, and this is like a really sort of reddy, rusty brown shade. I find that this goes on a lot more sort of purple, even sort of like a cool dark brown on my eye. It's somewhat disappointing, the shade that goes on the eye, because it's not really like the shade that's in the pan. It's a beautiful shade that's in the pan, but I wish it just had a little bit more red to it. So I would put that on probably with a redder eyeshadow or even a redder base, just to bring out the red in that. This is probably my favorite shade right now of the 4 that I picked up. This one is called Silver Pink and it goes on as quite sort of a cool tone, sort of shimmery silvery shade. The other 2 are quite nice as color bases or just for a nice subtle sort of light wash on the eye. This one is undertone. It looks quite gold in the pan. I find that that's fairly close to skin color when I do pop that on my eye. And then the very last one is called Scintillance. Scintillance is like a champagne-y kind of shade. I'll often use this one on my inner corner. Oh, here comes a kitty cat. Hi, Silky. I'll often wear this all over my lid or on the inner corner of my eye. Silky! Quite a nice formulation of eyeshadows, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of those coming out from Chanel. I also just picked up the Beiges Healthy Glow Gel Touch Foundation. It is SPF 25 PA+++. The makeup artist at the counter recommended that I do actually go up a shade. So I'm normally in the B30 shade of Chanel foundations, but I picked this one up in number 40. It does come in a compact with a mirror, a little sponge on top, and then the gel sort of foundation is released actually through a mesh rather than like those popular sponge foundations right now. This one is meant to be quite light and quite sort of dewy on the skin. A nice one for touch-ups there, and for those of you who just like a really sort of nice glowy finish with not a huge amount of coverage. Have read wonderful things on blogs about this though, so really looking forward to getting that one on my face. You would have seen me mention these in recent videos. These are new wherever you buy Revlon. They've got a new line called the Revlon Youth FX, and I've picked up pretty much, yeah, everything from their Youth FX line. They do have a concealer. I'm not crazy about that. I'm not really crazy about the whole line, really. This one is quite intriguing. It's called the Revlon Youth FX Fill and Blur Primer for Forehead. Contained in a little sort of glass bottle, a brush applicator there. It looks like sort of a white gel sort of serum. The idea of this is that you're supposed to brush the product onto your forehead lines and wrinkles, let dry. You can wear alone or under your makeup, and I'm not sure, I'm just not sure if it does anything. I'm not sure. Maybe my lines aren't deep enough to notice a huge difference, but for the price, I'm not sure. I mean, it sounds very exciting on the box. See results instantly, immediately smooths the appearance of forehead wrinkles. I'm not sure about that. They do also have another primer as part of their Youth FX line, and this is the Fill and Blur Primer for face and neck. This one is more sort of along the lines of, I guess, like your Benefit Professional type thing. You push the bottom of the bottle up and it releases the sort of the gel up through some holes there in this smooth tip applicator. I find that this is just a real waste of time. I guess I squeeze the product out, I still take it off with my finger and tap it in all over my face. It's an okay primer. It doesn't blow me away in any way, so I struggle to recommend the line. Same thing for the foundation. My foundation tube is a bit wonky. I don't think they're meant to be sort of wonky, but mine's definitely off center and asymmetrical. The Revlon Youth Effects Fill and Blur Foundation is SPF 20 broad spectrum. I chose the shade 210 Sand Beige. It is easy to sort of get cakey with this. You know, I've seen other vlogs that call this quite a thick foundation. It doesn't necessarily give you a huge amount of coverage depending on how you apply it, how much you apply. I mean, it can cake, but this says that it dramatically transforms the appearance of lines and wrinkles. I don't know, it's just another foundation. I wasn't particularly blown away with this one. This product was sent to me for trial from Maslow & Co. This one is featured in their upcoming Asian Beauty Edit box that will be shipping, I think, maybe August to Maslow & Co members. This is the J1 Jelly Pack. It does require quite a special application. This one is supposed to provide dramatic firming for your skin with improved elasticity and pore smoothing. It's unlike any product that I've ever tried before. It's a really, it's a clear sort of sticky gel-like substance that you don't want to rub into your face after you've applied your skincare. That will pill up. You want to just release about a pea-sized amount onto your fingers. I tap my fingers together and then apply it in a patting motion all over my face. I do find that it's somewhat smoothing, but the oil control that people seem to rave about online, I don't see that necessarily. My nose still gets shiny, certainly shiny by, you know, midway through the day, but it's a nice one. My skin does definitely look smoother, but it's not completely holy grail oil control, but I do really like it. I would recommend it. It's also supposed to be multi-purposed as a hydrating mask that you could sort of apply to your skin and wear overnight. I'm not sure if it's hugely hydrating. For me, the texture, well, it starts off sticky. When you're using it as a primer, as you tap it in, the stickiness sort of disappears and it does sort of sink into the skin and set somewhat. I like to leave it for a minute or two before sort of stippling my foundation over the top of it. But as a mask, I think I want something that feels like it's more sort of nourishing to the skin. It's not my favorite as a hydrating mask, but it's quite a decent primer. That I will say about the J1 Jelly Pack. For those of you Maslow & Co members who are about to get it, please do let me know what you think about this product. I'd love to hear from you if you've tried it. Hourglass have reformulated a product that was a real miss for me previously. They've reformulated the Immaculate Liquid Powder Foundation. It's supposed to be mattifying and oil-free. In the previous formulation and the previous packaging, it seemed to be quite a bit thicker, and I just could not blend it into my skin without it looking like it sat in my pores and just made my skin look awful, just cakey even on application, regardless of how little I applied, regardless of what primer I used underneath it, if any, regardless of the application technique. This one just seems so much better, so I think it's reformulated. I like it a lot more, and it's not a flat matte that I don't like, and I will also apply this over a radiance primer and get a really nice coverage, a really nice effect on my skin. I really do quite like this one now. I'm really pleased to say. So my shade there is in the shade Ivory. Hourglass has extended their range of ambient lighting powders. We've got the ambient lighting bronzer in diffused bronze light, a darker brown with a yellow toned sort of cream shade. We've also got the ambient lighting bronzer in nude bronze light. These both seem to be a little bit cooler toned than the ambient lighting bronzers that they released a year or so ago. This one looks quite cool toned, but a little bit lighter than the other. And then also picked up two new ambient lighting blushes from them, or actually, what are they calling them? Ambient Strobe Lighting Blush. So a combination of their strobe sort of highlighting powders and their blushes. This one is called Brilliant Nude, a lovely neutral shade with a sort of fairly neutral highlighter shade. And this one here is called Euphoric Fusion. Very different here with a really sort of deep plum toned blush mixed in with a highlighter. Let me know if you've tried any of those. Would love to hear from you. I've got three more foundations actually. Let's go there. So first of all, the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Foundation. This one featured, I think, in my recent favorites video. This one they claim gives you long wear, high cover, and it's SPF 25. I've gone up a shade here in my normal Giorgio Armani. I think I'm normally 5.5. This one I'm 6.5, and I find that the coverage is really nice and buildable. Skin looks kind of luminous and healthy. The satin finish, I would say, it's not particularly dewy. It's definitely not matte, and it's fairly long wearing. So I do quite like the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric. And then the foundation that I'm wearing today that I'm absolutely loving, it's one from the Australian brand Australis, and it's their new Liquid Elixir Serum Foundation. It's oil-free, paraben-free, vitamin E contains vitamin E, not tested on animals. One of those sort of really liquidy foundations that come with a dropper. I love it. I love it. I'll put, you know, powder with a coverage over it if I need a little bit more coverage. But this is definitely buildable to medium. I find it smoothing. I find it just beautiful. Really, really nice finish. Great daytime foundation. They've also released a new primer that's meant to be illuminating underneath your foundation. It's the Australis Midas Touch. This one has little gold flecks in it. They're non-detectable. I'm not sure if it's particularly effective at keeping makeup on all day. I'm not sure, but it does give a really nice finish underneath your foundation. And then the final foundation that I have to share with you today is from Bourjois. This is a reformulated version of their Healthy Mix Anti-Fatigue Foundation. It's meant to last up to 16 hours, contains vitamin C, E and B5. I am in the shade number 53 Light Beige, and I really like this foundation as well. Great, I would say medium coverage foundation, a beautiful healthy sort of dewy finish without being oily. Great pump bottle. Yeah, recommend, really like that one. I'm not sure how it compares with the old formulation, but that is definitely a nice one. While we're still on skin and primers, I have a few of those to share with you. I have loved this product from Glam Glow from Mecca Cosmetica. This one was definitely in my recent favorites. It's the Glam Glow Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer. This one comes in 3 different shades, and I've chosen the shade Nude Glow. It's sort of the closest to my skin color. There's a lighter one and I think a darker one. It's beautiful. This just gives a lovely smoothed radiant surface underneath any foundation. It smells, it smells beautiful, like an orange creamsicle, which is the direction I think that Glam Glow seem to be going with their moisturizers and primers. I love it. Moisturizer and primer in one. Beautiful finish, a joy to use. Don't like the pot, but yeah, I love it. Another one from Glam Glow. Loving this product, loving it. It's the Glam Glow Glowsetter Makeup Setting Spray. Comes in a cute funky pink bottle. This just gives a lovely dewy finish. I'll apply it after I've applied my powder. This has got the finest mist you have ever had in a makeup spray. You barely feel it going on the skin. It gives a lovely, beautiful finish. I think that this does sort of help lock everything in and just give my skin a really nice radiant look. Love that. Another primer I have picked up, haven't used this one yet, the Urban Decay Self-Adjusting Complexion Primer. I think this one has mixed reviews online. It's supposed to have adapting pigments, give you a soft focus effect, and also give you shine control. It seems that people either love it or they hate it. Maybe it comes down to application. I don't know. Please let me know if you've tried this, if you have any tips for application. I am yet to use it and can't wait to hear from you. Another spray. This one is a new one from Scandinavia, and it's the Post Makeup Recovery Spray. This one, they say, gently clears pores and helps prevent breakouts. Use immediately after removing makeup. So you're supposed to, you know, remove your makeup, cleanse your skin however you do it. And the mist actually contains zinc. It rapidly replenishes lost nutrients and moisture immediately after removing makeup. Highly purified witch hazel and gentle exfoliants help prevent clogged pores that can lead to breakouts. This one, they do say that you have to apply within 5 minutes of removing your makeup. Formulated for all skin types, hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic, and cruelty-free. I think this is going to be somewhat like the La Roche-Posay Cero Zinc, which contains a lot of zinc. I found that very, very effective at oil control, gave my skin just a beautiful finish. I have high hopes for the Scandinavia Post Makeup Recovery Spray. One more primer. This is a new one from Smashbox. It's the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer Radiance with hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid for moisture and hydration and radiance. It definitely has a slight sort of shimmer finish, I guess. When I apply it on my face, I'll put my foundation over the top of it. I love this as much as the Glam Glow as a primer for radiance and a lit from within glow. Love, and would recommend it. I have picked up some new bronzers from Bare Minerals. I think these are relatively new. They just looked beautiful to me in store. This one is the Bare Minerals Invisible Glow Powder Highlighter in the shade Tan. So they say it's a powder highlighter. This is what it looks like, similar to the Hourglass. And then I've also picked up the Invisible Bronze Powder Bronzer in the shade Tan as well. So we've got the Invisible Glow Powder Highlighter in Tan and the Invisible Glow Powder Bronzer in Tan. This one is less sort of mottled and marbled as the highlighter, and this one is just a really nice sort of relatively cool toned matte bronzing powder. So looking forward to seeing what they look like on the face. A couple new products from the drugstore. These are from Maybelline. Picked these up at Priceline today. The Maybelline Master Bronze Colour and Highlighting Kit. We've got 4 shades and I love the imprinted embossed pattern in the powder. It reminds me of the NARS. 4 shades there, from a highlighter right through to a bronze. And then also the Maybelline Master Blush Colour and Highlighting Kit. Highlighter here with quite a bit of shimmer. And then we've got 3 blushes that don't seem to have quite as much shimmer. Something a little bit more peachy, more of a fuchsia pink, and then a really deep plum toned. I think you'll need to be really light-handed with your brush in that one in particular. It's swatched quite heavily on the hand. Way over the other end of the price scale, 2 new palettes from By Terry. These are a continuation of their Sun Designer palettes that they released 2 of last year. This one here is the Tropical Sunset Sun Designer palette. They also perform beautifully as eyeshadows. This one is a little bit more subtle. This is the Sun Designer palette in number 4. Savannah Love. Some bronzer, blush, highlighter shades in there. Sometimes I like to sort of dip my brush in one shade and apply it. Sometimes I'll sort of swish the brush around and just apply the whole thing as a blush, or a blush and bronzer in one. Urban Decay have released the new Naked Heat palette. Still to be released in Australia. I'll include all of the launch details down below, but they did do an early release for level 3 Beauty Loop members, and then also an early release just for one day only. This is what it looks like. I really quite like this. It's a really nice addition to the Urban Decay Naked line. I did say when I mentioned this one in my favourites video that I wish it did have a darker shade, just a really dark brown or a black. And I also wish it had like just a lighter, I don't know, I really like this palette, but I wish there was a little bit more variation between some of these sort of middle shades. I wish that it had a lighter shimmery sort of golder shade. It's got a really, really light sort of shimmery whitey highlighter shade, but something between these 2 shimmers would be lovely. Just a gold would be lovely. We've got 3 sort of matte ready shades. One of those could be a darker shade. I'm a bit of a collector and a fan when it comes to the Urban Decay Naked palettes, and the Heat is no exception. I will still use a darker shade of shadow from another palette though, so you know, it's not a holy grail. Silky's here next to me on the bed and he's just playing with the Hourglass palette. It's very cute. He obviously likes shiny things. There you go, Silky. See what you think of that. Oh, this is a love. You would have seen this one in my recent favourites video. I love this product. It's from Dermalogica. It's their Nightly Lip Treatment. It's from their Age Smart line, and it's meant to firm, hydrate and restore the lip and perioral region with rich overnight treatment. This one you're supposed to apply generously and massage into the skin on and around the lip area. I'm a little bit dubious about applicators like this, or you know, applicators that are designed to be cooling. I'll often just not use them because it's easier just to tap the product in with my finger, but I do use this applicator and I will apply this as part of my nightly skincare routine on and around my lips. I just feel like this is so plumping. My lips feel so plump after I've applied this, within, you know, minutes of applying this, and they still feel quite plump in the morning. I love this product. It just feels nourishing and volumizing to my lips, and I'm just so pleasantly surprised. It was sent to me. I wasn't expecting much. I am in love with it and I would definitely repurchase it. Still on the lips here, I have picked up a new shade from Too Faced. This is part of their Melted Matte, Liquefied Matte Long Wear Lipstick line. This one is in the shade Suck It. You know, it's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek name there, and I love it. It's just sort of an everyday kind of plum. I also could not resist picking up one of their little Love Light prismatic highlighters. This is the shade Blinded by the Light. We've got a gorgeous little gold heart compact here with a mirror. This just looks like a gemstone. A gorgeous looking highlighter. Some other products from Too Faced, or one other product from Too Faced I should say, is the Natural Love eyeshadow palette. It came with a really cool little booklet showing the history of Too Faced and their natural eye palettes. They've had quite a few over the years. This is a nice, really large version. I am yet to dip my brush into it. Quite a large combination of shimmers with just the occasional matte, just a great range of shades. I'm mesmerised when I look at it. I'm a little bit of a collector of Too Faced eyeshadow palettes. They can be a little bit hit and miss. Oh, the packaging on this is just gorgeous. The title here is embossed in a velvet touch, and you've just got these beautiful pictures of leaves and flowers and bunnies. Too Faced have really done a great job of just very, very pretty packaging with that one. And then the very final product that I have picked up, this has been out for a few months now, it's from the Balm. It's their Highlight and Contour, Steal the Spotlight Highlight and Contour palette, a great one for traveling. It is that cardboard packaging, very, very thin. I would definitely use this one for traveling. I love the fact that you've got contour, bronzer, highlighter and blush in the one palette. They are fairly, I don't know, fairly small pans, but I could get a brush in there and saturate it fairly well. We've got some shimmery yellow toned and pink toned highlights, matte pink toned and yellow toned highlights. They'd probably be good for setting like under eye concealer, that kind of thing, or just for a more subtle highlighted look. And then we've got some great shades of bronzer and blush, a more orangey and pink blush, and then 2 different shades of bronzer down here. The Balm can be a little bit hit and miss when it comes to their products, so we shall see. Whew, that is it. All of the products that I have purchased recently that I've used or am waiting to use. Can't wait to try some of those. Please let me know if you have used any of the products I have shown you today and what your thoughts are, or what your favourite new little beauty product is of the moment. I would love to hear from you either way. Thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. It's lovely to be back. I hope that you have an absolutely gorgeous day, and please don't forget, you are absolutely beautiful, but so much more important than looking it is being it. I will see you again really, really soon. Mwah. Bye. You're seeing